use that address. And I'm also a Women Tech Makers lead, the same thing that Anna does, but in London. And GDG Cloud London organizer, like you have GDGV going here, right? So I'm the one for GDG Cloud in there. And you can see the link, the color is a bit contrasting, but that's fine. So, so I'm originally from a small city in Brazil. And those are pictures with me. That's what I like to do when I was a kid. I like to play with computers. And when I was preparing this presentation, I just posted one of my slides on, maybe you can read it, it's in Portuguese. I was just posting one of my slides on Twitter, and then my friend replied in Portuguese. I was just saying that like the things that you play when you are a kid just help you a lot to build who you are in the future. And then you can see a picture of Lego, and then my friend just posted, oh, I really wish I could have it, but my mom didn't let me have it. And I was like, why? Because she said it was a toy for boys. And this didn't happen only with my friend, this has happened to many people. And for example, in my house, I didn't used to have like video games console, but most of my boy friends had it. But I did have emulators and did everything on the computer as well. Who needs video games? And then also when I posted that photo on Twitter, some other people said, yeah, but also I didn't have much money when I was a kid to buy Lego, so you're just saying that maybe I don't have the same opportunity. And I thought, okay, if you don't have Legos, you can still play cool things with your kids. Does anyone know what this is? Yeah, Scratch. So you have tons of resources online, and you also have cheaper toys. So just let your boys and girls play with ludic games for just both of them. Don't say that toys are for boys or for girls. It really helps. And these are some of the games that I used to play using my emulators. Do you know the names? I want to see the nerds here. Speak out loud. Yeah, Doom, what else? I think people here don't like games. Yeah, Craig? Wow, you know Dangerous Dave, +1. Excellent. Who else was afraid of the ski guy? Yeah? Yeah, so these are some of the things I used to do when I was a kid. And one of the reasons that I did those things was because my father used to be a programmer. He used to program in Fortran and assembly. So inside my house, it was very normal for me to just like sit with my dad with the 24 floppy disks and install Windows and just let's, I don't know, remove the parts of the computer, and then when the memory goes wrong, you just use an eraser. And these are things that were just common for me. And I was just raised thinking this was normal, that people did this as well. And then when I was about 9, that was when people started to use the internet in Brazil. It was around the year 2000. I don't know when it arrived here. But I was a big fan of Sailor Moon, the Japanese animation, and that's why my nickname is Chibi Chibi, which is the tiny girl over there. Still, I'm 27. People still call me that. Okay. Right. So I was a big fan of Sailor Moon, but if I had to wait to see the episodes on TV, I'd had to wait forever. So I used to use things called Merc and stuff, and I just wanted to share all my knowledge with people out there on the internet. So I used something called communities.msn.com. Anyone? Geocities, HPG pages? Yeah, I know. So yeah, and I also use Front Page. Anyone? Yeah, I see some nodding faces. Okay, but I had one problem. That back then, remember, I can see you're picturing the sound of the dial-up connection. So it was very slow, and I didn't know anything about programming or whatever, but I just remember that there were 2 tabs. One of them was HTML, and the other one was just like proper writing, just like you could drag and drop stuff. And for some magical reason, whenever I used those weird HTML tags, things would just be faster. So I started to just, what's HTML on? Back then we didn't use Google, it was Alta Vista and KD in Brazil. Probably didn't have it here. But yeah, but then I just started to learn the basics of a markup language, and then it just made me feel so happy that I could just do some stuff. And that was my computer back then. That it had a turbo button that I thought that used to make my computer faster, but it actually made it slower. And yeah, HTML. And do you know Wayback Machine? Yeah, so I managed to find my page. It was super exciting. The GIFs don't load anymore, but yeah, that was cool. And then there were those, it was great. I just missed those times, yeah. Okay, so it was just natural to me that with all this history that I would choose to go to computer science when times came to choose what you study. And I was very surprised when I got to, actually not that much, because the months before getting to university, many people were trying to discourage me, like, but why are you going to do computer science? There's only going to be guys there, and they're going to stink, and they're going to be full of acne, and you're not going to like it, it's going to be terrible. And then I was like, that's not going to happen. So I went there, first day of class, super excited. I managed to enter a very difficult university. And then there were 6 girls and 40 men, 40 boys. It was a bit like, okay, maybe people were right. And then it was just very, very, very hard. And because in Brazil, like, computer science is 4 years, so the 2 first ones, you mainly study mathematics from the mathematical department, and then you go, like, you still have some computer topics, but most of the things are mathematics, and that's when most of the people give up. So it was very tough. And here are some of the things that I and some friends of mine heard. I don't know how to press play with this, so I'll just play here. I want to know, you don't have to raise your hands, but if you ever heard anything like this while being a woman in technology. And I have to put the, sorry, I just have to put, oh, it's already, sorry, okay.
Hey.
You really code well for a woman.
I'm sorry?
This code right there is actually kind of decent. Hey, I made a compliment for you.
I'm sorry, that's not a compliment.
Of course it is. Hey, it's not every day that I see a girl on this course. What's up?
I'm just coding.
Coding? I didn't know that women could do that.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this code is actually pretty good for a woman.
Do you think only men can code?
No, of course not, but...
But?
It's not every
That's
day.
what you just said.
It's not every day that you see a girl coding, especially so well like this. What are you doing?
So only men can code well. God.
How did you get this far without a technical background?
What makes you think I don't have a technical background?
Oh, just asking you.
I'm a computer science student here too.
It's not every day I see someone like you.
What do you mean?
This course isn't really for women, you know.
Why?
You see...
Are you saying I can't think?
Of course you can, but I'm just saying that it's not every day that I see someone like you here.
Like me, like what? Like a woman?
I would say so.
God, why don't you go to your games or something?
Of
Leave me alone. I mean, because you are the computer science guy, so you must play games. Where are your glasses, by the way?
Why do you think I should wear glasses?
Why do you think I shouldn't be here? See?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
This is a programming class.
Yeah.
No, but I mean computer programming. Hold on, let me do this. I think that I can do it better. Men's brain work more logically. You know, I'm actually quite surprised by your skill. Smart girls are usually very ugly. No, it's just a compliment for you.
A compliment?
Of course.
God.
I saw some nodding faces and some people like, really? Did this really happen? Just think for yourselves. I think I have to just click here to press. Okay, so when I was in this first very difficult university, one person told me that I was not good enough and that I should probably drop out because it was just the easier way out. And that just got to me because that person was really respected by everyone. And it just got to me, and then I started to have panic attacks, and things just got terrible. I couldn't go to university. Every time I would sit, I used to tremble. Things were terrible. And I decided it was better to drop out. So I dropped out of computer science. I moved to another city, and I thought I really like learning languages, so I'm just gonna study languages. And then I started to study English in university. And I don't get me wrong, I do love English, but I really liked computers, and like I was studying stuff that wasn't that exciting to me, but like people told me that I wasn't good enough, people who were respected. Maybe I was, and maybe that wasn't for me, but I was also very sad going to uni every day. Like I wasn't feeling complete, it was terrible. So this professor, he was also like my professor in the previous university, and while I was there, he was always trying his best to help me out. He became my tutor, and he used to show me women online and show me things like, look, there is those amazing women. One of them created the first compiler. This woman is really good because of this and that. And that just started to, I don't know, enlighten the things for me. So maybe the path isn't, I don't know, easy for everyone. And it didn't matter to me if it was more difficult than for, I don't know, average people, because that's what I wanted to do. So he did notice that I had a very good visual memory. So he told me, Amanda, when I was doing just programming one, he used to say, Amanda, you always, every time I give you a problem to solve, you always try to code first. Like, you don't even think of a problem. You sit down, you open your IDE, you try to code, you fail, you cry. Like, come on, let's do things step by step. So I bought a notebook, and he said, every time you're going to do anything, you have to first model, understand the problem, then you're going to code actually without just running the compiling thing all the time. Just like run your code, read it, and only when you're 100% sure that's going to work, then you go to the computer and run stuff. And that really helped, and it just seemed so silly, but someone just took the time, like noticed something that I could do well, instead of just saying, oh, you're bad, drop out, just give up. Saying, you should never tell anyone to give up. I mean, you can, if you see someone is not doing something well in your company or somewhere else, like try to find some way of helping them out. Maybe I have visual resources, but maybe people out there just learn some other way by reading, or, I mean, it doesn't have to be only one, it could be just 1,000 different ways. So that helped me out a lot, and then I managed to go back to university and graduate, and I'm here. So I moved to London, and I kept tons and tons of notes of all the things that I felt while being a woman in technology and things like that. And when I got there, I joined the GDG Cloud, and I just felt like even if I knew just one little thing I wanted to share with someone, so we just had groups of like, no one was an expert in there, but we just like, let's try and learn this today, and the next week let's see what we learn, let's try to just go and learn together. And that was so cool. There are people who come from the first time, and they're like, yeah, but I'm not good enough. Oh, that's good. So we can study more and just learn together. So I don't think we should discourage anyone because they're not good. I mean, if you're good, you don't need to study more, right? Then what's the point of coming to community? Maybe help someone out. So these are some of the events that we do there. I don't know if you can see because the pictures are a bit bad. But we have like, I don't know if you've ever been to London, but it's just an amazing place because people just come from all different countries, different backgrounds. You enter the tube, the bus, people are just different from each other. And I think that's just great, especially when you're talking about a business, because can you just think that like, I don't know, you have a product, and just with your team you can test with people use Windows, people come from another country, people just, you have people to test and just do things even before it goes live. It's amazing. So how can we be more inclusive? So just think of today or anywhere you go. Do you see people who are different from you in different aspects, like the one that you read there? I mean, I'm here, I see a bunch of women, men. There is a kid here. This is just amazing. So this is, I don't know, like a role model event for me. And so this was a bit of my story. Now I'll talk about the Google Women Tech Makers program that they've talked about. So I'll just talk briefly about it, and then we go to Chatbots. So the Google Women Tech Makers program helps women, providing them with visibility, community, and resources. And these are just some of the things that I listed that they are amazing at. So they have, for example, a YouTube channel it's not only for coding, it's just any tech things in general. There are things that are codey, there are things that are for different areas. Just go and check. That first item there is great. It's just a six video series of videos talking about inclusion and tips for companies, and I think it's just worth your time. And the thing that I really wanted when I was a computer scientist back then, they have a directory with women just around the world showing what they are doing. So if you have anyone struggling, you could just show them, look, this is a list of a bunch of amazing women, and you can just be like them. So yeah, lots of amazing resources. And also these are the hashtags in case you want to look for them online. Okay, now we're going to talk about chatbots. Well, how is the most common way that you talk to other people? How do you communicate with people? What do you use? That's a question. I couldn't hear anyone, sorry. What do you use when you need to call your mom, your dad, talk to a friend, someone in front of you? Language, voice, what else? Mobile, very good. Text, maybe? Okay, so I think the most common of them is voice, right? So that's why most of the technologies today, like Alexa or the Google Home, they're trying to just use the voice, right? Because it's what's closer to us. We've been doing it for I don't know how many billions of years. And do you know any of those movies? Have you watched it? Yeah, anyone else? So if you didn't, you should, yeah, very good. So they talk about machines, how humans interact with machines. And in some of them, like the machines sort of develop sentiments, feelings. I don't know if you think these things might happen someday or if they're already happening, but to me it's a bit creepy. Every time I just see these movies, it gets me, oh my God, what if? And did anyone see this, I was going to say person, this robot on TV? Yeah, did you see the video? So this robot, now I think she has legs. She was given a Saudi Arabia citizenship. And she's just like very clever, like the programmer just built things that like when you ask a question, it doesn't give you just one, I don't know, simple sentence, it's very clever. I don't know how much, because all those, I've never seen her live, all I see are interviews, so I don't know if they're just recorded for the, I don't know, for the circumstances or if it's really that awesome, but I'm really impressed, and every time I look at the videos, I just think, oh my God, is this happening? To me, it's a bit creepy. So if the ones who didn't see it, just look on the internet for like Sophia, Saudi Arabian robot. And basically, what is a chatbot? It's it's a software that you talk, so you give it some input, and then it gives you an output, which is replied to you with a message or voice. Basically, let's say a message that can be a text or a voice. Very simple. Oh, and we're always trying to make it pass the Turing test. So sometimes every time we see a chatbot, oh my God, this is a real person or not, let me try to break it. So that's trying to pass the Turing test. Do you know any of those famous chatbots? Do you know the names? Very good. And then? No, that's Mitsuko. Can I show you? If you say no, I'll show you anyway. I think that N. So let's try to do it. Who are we going to think of? Let's think of someone or something. Anyone give me an idea? I'm going to be standing here all day if you don't give me an idea. Just think of a person, your sister, your mother, your favorite artist. Okay, so you're going to help me out. Is your character a real person? Does your character make YouTube videos? Is your character older than 35 years old? Live in America? Yeah? Black? An actor? President? Servant? Linked with sports? No. Singer? No. Dad? What? Boss of an important company? A scientist? Messy hair? I don't, from the pictures, no. I don't think so. No. The sky? No. What is that? American? Smoke a pipe? Traditional, is it, can we say traditional? Nobel Prize. Did she? No. Medicine? It got it wrong. Okay, so basically very good. So basically, many people play with it all around the world, so it's always just feeding the database of, I'm saying database, I don't know what they use to store, but it's just very clever. So this one is Akinator, and this one is Mitsuko. I think I didn't get many hands. Mitsuko, anyone? No. Okay. I'm just not sure if it's going to load my old conversation, so I'd rather not show it. But it's very clever. So this one doesn't have any NLP. It's all using I don't know how to say in English, AIML. So it's sort of like artificial intelligence markup language. I think that's what it stands for. So basically, Steve, who is the programmer, he just wrote all of the answers, and it's very clever, and it can keep context. For example, if I say, I had a nice day, it was nice. So it knows that it refers to day. So it's very clever as well. And people just use it all around the world, especially for educational purposes. That's how I got to know her during uni. And then the last one is just from the same creator, Pandora Bots. Okay. And then, so we have these chatbots, which are very famous online. And also, do you use any websites that have some sort of automated conversations? Yeah? You want to give me an examples? So what are they like? Does it have things like a picture of an agent? Or does it ask, what are you doing? Can I help? What are the sort of automated messages you've seen? Or you've never seen them? Maybe this is completely new to you. Yeah, you've seen them. Okay, so another way that we see them is either, now that I think that you don't have it yet in here, right? The Google Home, this is the mini. Do you have the big one in here, or? Yeah? Alexa, anyone? Echo, do you have? Yeah, okay. So you have them either in a device, or you can have them on your phone. How many of you use like Siri, Google Home, and just on the phone? And what are the things that you do with them? Is it mostly commands, or do you develop for them? Do you create new things? Who here has ever developed a chatbot? Just the ones in the front row. Cool, so we're going to create one together today. Okay, so here are some of the things that we can do with those, I don't know, devices, or the ones on your devices too. I mean, your cell phone and computer. So you can just like set commands, check something on my calendar, when is my next alarm, or maybe you're on a diet, and how many calories are there on an apple? Or I don't know, you're just talking and that thing's, you have someone at your home, and then you're just, let's go to Japan. And you're like, yeah, but how far is Japan? I don't know, just ask it. But how many in kilometers and miles? So it can help the conversations as well, and just make your life easier. And why is it so cool to use voice user interface? Because when, like, think of, we're going to use a new product at work or in the house, but then you have that learning period. But you don't have to learn how to use voice. All you have to learn, I don't know how Alexa goes, but for Google, all you have to do is to say is okay, or hey Google, and then you ask questions, and like we don't need any training for that. All we need is like to plug the outlet, and that's it. And Do you know when you sometimes receive like a text that says press 1 for something, press 2 for something else, and then it's boring, it's, I don't know, just outdated. Sometimes it makes sense. I was talking to a friend the other day, and then they were saying, just imagine you're a mechanic and you're under a car, and if you just press a button to do some automated thing for you, maybe it's easier. And okay, you got it. Maybe for that circumstance, it's okay. So for different circumstances, there are different chatbots or just automated things that can help you out. And just those 2 pictures here is when we're going to create our chatbot today. You can choose the voice. There is a man's voice, woman's voice, and the robotic voice, which I think is also very inclusive for non-binaries and people who don't identify themselves there as those genders. Okay, so now you decide, I want to build a chatbot. So let's just wait. Remember me in uni, I wanted to code before doing stuff. No, we just have to model some things before. So what you have to do is you have to pick the right use cases, create a persona, write dialogues, test it out, build and iterate. Am I moving somewhere at that time? Sorry. Okay, so let's go step by step. First one. I don't know, I just want to create a chatbot for my grandma or for my company or for something. So you just have to think of the brand. Remember Mitsuko, it was a girl. So if it's a girl, should I use a girl's voice? Is it going to talk to kids? Should I manner my language? So you just think of all these things about the personality, the persona, the brand you're going to do. And then you can just think of some characteristics. Are you going to be a funny bot? Are you going to be a more serious one? I don't know, role? I was just thinking because this is a very narcissistic chatbot about myself. I don't know, it was just a software developer and personality, empathetic, so I just thought, I'm gonna make me, chatbot chibi. Yeah, very creative. Okay, so pick the right use case. What's an use case? It's just a functionality. What is it going to do? Because I can do just so many amazing things. But what is the chatbot about me going to do? So maybe we can think let's learn the things Amanda likes to do, or I don't know, you create a chatbot about Amanda. I'm also narcissistic, so let's do one that compare what you do with what I do. Fair enough? So just think of the use case. Then think what you want to accomplish when building it, because I've seen it. Sometimes when I run the workshops, we think we know everything, but then I say, okay, let's write the questions, and then everyone they're thinking different things. So let's think what you want to accomplish when you're doing it. Are we going to do something about weather? Are we going to do a chatbot that's general? Are we going to build another Google Home that answers about everything? So just try to think of this use case, and try to make the interaction feel more human-like. Going back to Mitsuko again, I went on their Twitter account, and they had this tweet pinned that said that this one person was going through depression, and this person didn't have many friends. And just talking to Mitsuko, even though this person knew it was just a robot, it was not a real person, but it was just more, it was kinder than people he knew in real life. I'm assuming it's a he, but it could be a he or she. So this person assumed it was better than a conversation with the person, so that one was actually helping people. And there are, I don't know, chatbots for helping with mental health and just so many amazing things. So if we try to make it feel more human-like, it's better. And also the example I gave before of the mechanic under the car, just try to think, for example, this example here. What's the character's, there's a apostrophe missing, sorry, favorite fruit? So the game I have to guess forever what's your favorite fruit, but what if you just tell me banana or strawberry? Then you can make my life easier. And then we could have a button with a microphone, then a person can type or speak, so you're including more people to use it. And as I said before, game for a kid. Shall we put some parental control on what's being said? Is it for, I don't know, serious companies? So shall we keep a way of speaking or typing just better for that target? Oh, and this is very important. Let users know that they are talking to a chatbot. It's very annoying when you just want to know, this is going to be amazing, it's going to be, I'm going to use the best NLP, and people are going to think it's a human, but what if something goes wrong? I mean, it's always good to let the person, especially if you're using this for your business, to let them know they're talking to a chatbot. Just the first message, hi, I'm Bob, I'm the chatbot for this company X. Just to also prevent you from bad experience. And in conversation, real conversations too, there are no errors. So if I'm talking to you about something, you have no idea what I'm talking about, you always reply with something. It could be like, oh, what? Or just, uh-huh, or yes. And maybe sometimes you don't know the answer, but it's not like it's an error. It's not like it's wrong. There's no such a thing as a wrong thing. So when you're creating your interaction too, you shouldn't think of like, what if I don't know the answer? So let's just make a default message saying, I don't know, something for the context, or did you mean that thing? But you also have to think, for example, if you ask the person, did you mean X 5 times? The person is not going to use your chatbot anymore because like, this thing doesn't understand me, it's annoying, I'm not going to use it. So we have to balance things when you're creating it. And no matter how good the technology is, people won't use it until they trust it. The first chatbot I built, it broke, and it sent back the user 20 messages. That user never used it again. Yeah, that happened, so make sure you test it a lot before you put it in production. And I'm just going to show you one example now of one chatbot I made. So the Google Home, unfortunately, I couldn't connect it to the internet, but basically you can use it anywhere that Google Chrome and Google Halo, just don't know how many of them. So I'll just go here and say, talk to chatbot Chibi.
Okay, let's get chatbot Chibi. I see you have returned to chatbot Chibi.
Okay, so it works here, but since this is a bit low, I'm just going to show you where the simulator is online. Let me just copy the address, the URL. Yeah. And then we're going to build one together. Start to think which chatbot we're going to build. Think of the persona. I'm going to get one person's idea. So this is chatbot Chibi, simulator. Oh, hang on, let me just get the... Yeah, I don't know if I can test because it's already live. Let me test that.
Okay, let's get the test version of Chatbot Chibi.
My court welcomes you back to Chatbot Chibi Flashcards game. I await your performance with excitement. And now, let's begin. What's the character's favorite movie?
Anyone? What's my favorite movie? It's 5 questions. We're going to play it.
Apologies, I can either give you a hint or you can just try again.
So
Which would you like?
You have a button for a hint, or I can just say, hint?
Yes, here's your hint. It is a melodrama romance produced by Steven Spielberg. And now, what is your answer?
E.T.?
You answered it incorrectly. Do not despair. The answer is Memoirs of a Geisha. I shall give you the next one. What's the character's favorite programming language?
Anyone? Whoever said Ruby, I'm going to kill you. Yay!
Outstanding. JavaScript is love. I shall give you the next one. What's the character's favorite Japanese animation?
Anyone? Yeah, you got it. And the last one, I think. What's my favorite
Wonderful
fruit?
work. I have actually costume played Sailor Chibi Moon. And lastly, what's the character's favorite fruit?
Apple?
This was not the one I was looking for. Wanna get a hint, or try again? As you wish. What's the character's favorite fruit?
I don't know, strawberry?
Apologies, the answer is banana.
So, basically, so you can see.
And that's the end of Chatbot Chibi Flashcards
Has-
game. Thanks for sticking with me through
No
all the
worries.
rounds.
Has anyone here ever used Google spreadsheets? Are you comfortable in using that? So that's all it takes. It's just a template. All I did was write the questions, the answers, the follow-up. You saw the follow-ups like, yeah, JavaScript is love, or something. No, that's incorrect. And then it only put on a template that Google already built before. So it's very, very simple. Anyone can make it. And then, just the second part. So this one we built without a single line of code. And then the second way that you can create an interaction is using Dialogflow, which you can use with or without code. Basically, you can build intents. Think of intent as the actions you want to build. For example, this was a game that we were trying to guess the robot's persona. So we made one question: how old is she? What does she look like? So each one of those was a question. You can see it's very easy to use Dialogflow. I wrote the steps here. Basically, you click to log in, and you're already in that interface, and you just create the intents, and then you're going to test and make it more clever. It's very, very simple. This is the example that I'm going to show now about the robots that I built. So I built those ones, again, without any lines of code. So this one I just built with Angular, just a simple page, put an image, the possible questions, and then the things from Dialogflow, which means that we can also use the microphone. Where is she from? Okay, so this is answering from what I wrote inside of Dialogflow, and then another person in a workshop just used a HTML page locally and embedded that Dialogflow thingy. You can basically put it anywhere, and it's super fun. And you can also just link it to your Google Home, to your phone, to anywhere you want. You know, like the embed thing in HTML, as simple as that. And then you can make, I don't know, games with your kids, or I don't know, whoever you're thinking of. And if you'd like to just go the next step, like, okay, I saw these things that you showed me, I don't need a line of code to build a chatbot. If you go to that website, there are some more clever ones that you can just create amazing things. But as I promised, we're going to create one now, because I still have about 5 minutes. 2 maybe? Okay, so who had the idea of how we're going to name that chatbot? Anyone? You don't want to see how my brain goes. It's going to be called BobBot. And my account is from Brazil. Then this is how it goes. We click to add or import a project. And then it's creating all those things that I told you that it's importing from I don't know, the templates or what we're going to use. So right now, we're going to use templates, and the 3 of them are, I don't remember the order, but one of them is like, you know those quizzes that you used to play from the magazines, like, if you reply to this, you're Superman. If you reply to that, you're Batman. And then there are like the Superman quiz. One of them is like a personality that like you answer many things, and in the end it says, you are Superman. Or another one, which is the one I built, the flashcards, that basically you have just one incorrect answer and one right answer. You cannot choose from any of them. So I'll just create one flashcards, and then I simply press build. Then we can choose the voice. Is it going to be Bob, right? Okay. Bob, let's hear his voice.
I like that answer, because it's right.
Very good, Bob.
Pencils down. The game is over. And now for your...
All right, and then what I do is I simply click here to make a copy of one existing template. Make a copy. I clicked, I swear. make it? Okay. And then the columns I told you. The first one, they have some questions, the answer, the hints, and the follow-up. But look that in here you have, I don't know, 38, less than 38, 31 questions. But then you don't want the person you thought of playing with to answer 38 questions. So you just say, no, I want to build with, I don't know, 5 questions. All right, so here we just say that this is the amazing Bob show. It's about Bob. The questions are about Bob. He's amazing. I told you to give me better ideas. And then, can you at least give me one question we're going to ask Bob, please? Anyone? One question about Bob, guys. Are you? A builder. Okay, that's very random. Answer? Answer? Yes. Hint? Yes. Follow up? So maybe we could ask something else, for example, what is your favorite, like not asking directly because this is the game about Bob. So maybe, what is Bob's job? And then we can say, builder, hint. He's not a doctor. That's a terrible hint. Follow up. Yeah, he is a builder. So this is why sometimes like we have one idea, it seems very cool, but then when we type, we think, maybe we should just write it in a different way. And now imagine doing that for your business. Then you just have to make it completely different. So that's why you have to always test and talk to another person and just make it more clever. How are we with time? 3 minutes, we can do it. So all you have to do now is you copy this, you click next, you paste that, no matter there is the /edit. Now it's just creating all the clever things, and I should connect to my account. It was, okay, not enough questions. Oh, because I said I want 5 questions, right? But I only have 1. So what do we have to change? 1 question. I don't have to change the URL, because it's the same thing. Now let's see if there's another problem. We have, I think, 2 minutes to finish this. We're going to do it. So it's just creating Bob amazing chatbot with 1 question. And now you can just build so many different things with that. Just imagine like your grandma can't press the remote control because she can see the I don't know, the tiny buttons. But then if you just use Google and say, okay, Google, turn on the TV. Or for a kid who can't read yet. So you're just including more people to use it. Okay, so it created it. I'm just going to say get the earliest version because I have different bots. I'm just telling it like choose this last one. And since it's still a test, I say talk to my test app. But you can change it. You can change it to talk to Bob app. And then we enter the game. Hopefully it's going to run with our 1 minute or less time. And it didn't get the last version, but I promise it's only doing this. Yay! So yeah, so it entered the template and we have the question. So you saw that I didn't type any of those, welcome to Bob's whatever game. So anyone, even if you don't know how to code, you're also welcome to start to build your interactions with the Google Home. And thank you.